Welcome everybody to another Voice of Nick exclusive YouTube episode. We're going to be playing more Danganronpa. Let's go look around the school and see what we can find. Here we go. I need to hurry up to the repository. Oh yeah, so we have like a specific area that we're trying to go to. Repository, I guess, is the science area. I need to hurry to the repository. Where's the repository? Okay, it might be downstairs, actually. Unless this is it. Aha! Shows how much I know. Are the bodies here somewhere? I have to wonder where they could have been hidden. There are paintings lining the walls. No, there's no point worrying about that right now. I have to look for the bodies. Maybe they're inside the statues. It's a Venus statue. No, there's no point worrying about that right now. Up ahead is the repository. The doorknob turned. I guess it's unlocked. Then I have no choice but to go inside. So I opened the door, and when I entered, I saw... the two bodies that had disappeared were right there. The smell of blood made me gag. What I saw before my eyes was unquestionable, unavoidable, unwavering reality. And then I heard the announcement for a second time. And so here we are. Without further ado, let me give you all the next Monokuma file. I was gonna hand them out when you found the bodies the first time, but I thought something might happen. It was really hard to resist, but turns out I was right. Just hand it over already. Now, make sure to investigate with all your mental might and prepare for the class trial. Okay, see you later. Well then, now that we've found the bodies, all that's left is to uncover the culprit. Hold on. How can you be so calm? I mean, they're dead, you know? Dead, gone forever. They're never coming back. Awful, this is just too awful. Hina suddenly burst into tears. She clutched at Hifumi's lifeless body. Large, wet tears fell from her eyes. The tears landed on Hifumi's cheeks. If this were some world of make-believe, that might have been when Hifumi opened his eyes. But this wasn't a movie. This wasn't... His memories are all blending together. He has nothing useful to offer us. His eyes closed, and they never opened again. Death for the second time. Absolute, undeniable death. No matter how many more of Hina's tears splashed his face, there was no second miracle. Reality set in again. This isn't some stereotypical fantasy world. Tears can't restore a person's vitality. You have no tears, do you? No blood in your veins, no calcium in your bones. At least you have your meat. You're just angry. Going out of his way to return just to leave us with those unnecessary dying words. Now this game has become exceedingly boring. He said Yasuhiro, right? Yasuhiro Hakagure. That is the only person he could have been referring to. And with that, the case is solved. Assaulting people and then even killing Taka and Hifumi, and then going so far as to hide their bodies. A criminal that hides his face behind a mask and uses a bunch of giant wooden hammers? Is that what Hiro is? If it's true, I can't forgive him. No way I can ever forgive him. To kill two of our friends. Anyway, it's about time we track down the culprit in our little life or death game here. Although this time it's not that life or death, the trial will conclude without much trouble. Yes, it does look that way. It's going to begin again. We have to go through this one more time. I have to accept it. I have no choice but to go through with this, to make sure everyone survives. I just have to do it. First, I better check the Monokuma file. The victims were Hifumi Yamada and Kiyotaka Ishimaru. The cause of death for each was a blow to the head. It is thought that they were both killed with a similar weapon. That's it? Yeah, it's pretty strange. We got way less information this time than before. That is no problem. After all, the events of this case unfolded before our very eyes. We should know more about what happened than the Monokuma file could anyway. Maybe. There's something else that's bothering me. Someone else has been missing for quite a while. Are you talking about Kyoko? Without a doubt, she has an alibi for when Celeste and Hifumi were attacked. But what if the killer wasn't acting alone? What if they had an accomplice? An accomplice? An accomplice? What are you doing here? Don't be rude. I'm here to answer your question. What question? You're talking about accomplices, right? I'm pretty sure I explained it before, didn't I? During the first class trial.
ついでにそこのぬいぐるみに聞いておきたいんだが、共犯者が存在した場合はそいつも黒になるのか？では答えましょう。殺人の際、共犯者を味方につけることは可能ですが、卒業できるのは実行犯である黒い地名のみです。つまり、いくら殺人を手伝ったところで、共犯者は得しないのね。じゃあ共犯者ってのはなさそうだな。つまり。
So basically, you can be an accomplice if you want, but there's no gratification in it. So what you're saying is nobody worked together this time either. Sorry, can't answer that. It would obstruct the free exchange of information between you guys. I just want to make sure you don't forget. No matter how much you might assist in a murder, only one Blackened can graduate. An accomplice gets nothing. Then we only need to figure out who that one Blackened is that did the killing, right? Just like normal. Yeah. Okay, let me take this opportunity to clarify the whole shebang. In this class trial, what you need to determine is the one true Blackened who devised the murder plot and put it into action. The true Blackened, so just one person. That's enough for explainifying. Now it's down to the final battle between all of you and the Blackened. Good luck to all the contestants. So there can only be one Blackened. An accomplice wouldn't benefit. And I can't see any way Kyoko would be connected to this case after all. You may be right. If that's true, then Kyoko, where are you? As long as she's not connected to the case, it doesn't matter. Let's get back to the investigation. I have absolutely no doubt that Hiro is responsible. But for the time being, I suppose it can't hurt to pursue further information. You know, don't you think we should consider a certain someone a suspect just in case? I'm talking about the murderous fiend, Genocide Jack. What? I'm offended. Ah! When did you? I've been looking all over for you, Master. When I woke up, you were nowhere to be found. Anyway, you there milk sack swimmer girl. Milk sack? Why do I gotta be a suspect? Well, I mean, you are a serial killer. So what? I'm like a special guest suspect every time? I have an alibi, you know. Well, she's right about that. When we heard Hifumi scream, she was with me. And when the bodies disappeared, she was still lying unconscious in the equipment room. Plus, Tako's body aside, I can't imagine any way she would be able to move Hifumi's body. Besides, I calculate every move I make. I'm not gonna kill someone when everyone knows what I look like. They don't call me the murderous fiend for nothing. That's not the kind of thing you should be bragging about. On another topic, should we post a guard by the bodies like before? We can't have them disappearing again. Hina and I can handle that. You don't mind, do you, Hina? Sure, I'd be totally useless on the investigation anyway. Then that's that. Let's begin. This whole thing is so strange. All but one of us has an alibi, so figuring out who did it should be obvious, right? But maybe it's just me, but I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as it seems. Nice! Monokuma file number 3 has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your handbook. Oh yeah, so somebody must have painted... They must have used the paints in the art studio to make the hammer into the Hammer of Justice. That must be some kind of TV show or something that they based it on. A surveillance camera. I don't have time to be staring at that. Hey, Makoto, I've been thinking about something. It's about the repository. Huh, what is it? After Hifumi and Tako's bodies disappeared, we split up to look around, right? I was really scared, so me and Sakura stuck together. And we came right to the repository to, you know, look around. But when we got here, the repository was locked. We couldn't get inside. It was locked. And we came here as soon as the search started, so there's no way someone could have beat us here. So if that's true, then who locked it? And why is it unlocked now? Well, I wonder the same thing. The door was locked when the search for bodies began, and now it's wide open. There might be some secret lurking in there, but I'll probably have to leave this area to figure it out. Oh, we don't even get a clue for that? So there are 4 hammers taken. Oh yeah, that's the amount that they use. There are hammers of all different sizes hanging on the wall, although some are more like mallets. Mallets. Could the Justice hammers have been designed using these as a model? Either way, all the hammers here have obviously seen a lot of use. They're all covered in debris and chalky stone powder. Wait! For some reason, this one hammer isn't dirty at all, and it's wet. Did someone wash it recently? Nice! Spotless hammer has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. There are many aspects in the incident this time. Too many, to be honest. Considering that, it may be good to look back on everything that's happened. Would you like my help? Oh, yeah, I guess. Yeah, let's look back on things. This morning, only 4 of us met up at the dining hall. Hina, Kyoko, you, and myself. We waited on the others, but nobody showed up, so we decided to go look for them. It was around 8 o'clock when we began our search. And soon after we split up, Kyoko disappeared. After that, Hina found Celeste in the rec room on the 3rd floor, then quickly came and got you and me. According to Celeste, she was attacked by a suspicious individual and lay unconscious for about an hour. In other words, she was attacked an hour before we found her, meaning just after 7. Based on the picture Celeste took, we discovered her attacker was dressed in a strange costume. It was Robo-Justice. It also became clear that Robo-Justice had dragged Hifumi away. After meeting up with Toko and Byakuya, we began searching for the costumed assailant. We found the injured Hifumi in the library on the 2nd floor. We took him down to the nurse's office on the 1st floor, then resumed our search. But not long after leaving the nurse's office... What's wrong? I saw a shadow. Something moving at the top of the stairs. Based on Celeste's claims, we went back up to the 2nd floor where we split up and began searching. Then right after that, Celeste screamed. This time she had apparently seen the suspect on the 3rd floor. Hearing her screams, we quickly made our way to the 3rd floor. Celeste, what's wrong? That was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared. And then... what was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been. Hifumi, he's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go back. At that point, we decided to split into two groups. Celeste, Hina, and I went back to the nurse's office. Meanwhile, Yu, Byakuya, and Toko pursued the suspect on the 3rd floor. When we got back to the nurse's office, we found Hifumi's corpse, which is also when we heard the body discovery announcement. I left Celeste and Hina alone and headed back to the 3rd floor to tell the others what had happened. But at that same time, we had discovered Taka's body in the equipment room, which means Hifumi and Taka's bodies were discovered right around the same time. Because I remember hearing the body discovery announcement play right after finding Taka. And that's when I showed up and told you about, and Byakuya, that Hifumi had been killed, right? Oh, then you, me, and Byakuya all headed back to the nurse's office, leaving behind Toko, who had fainted. But as soon as we left the physics lab, we ran into Celeste, who just arrived to tell us something very unusual. Hifumi's body has disappeared. We hurried back to the nurse's office to discover that the corpse was in fact gone. Then we remembered that we had abandoned the unconscious Toko and rushed back to the equipment room. This can't be happening. Are we hallucinating all this or something? This time, Taka's body had disappeared. So from there, we began our search for both of the missing bodies. And at some time, Celeste told us she'd found the bodies, and we all headed back to the repository. And there, we discovered the two bodies that had apparently vanished. And that brings us up to now. Looking back, things have certainly been very active. If you want to look back at the case again, just let me know. I'm fine anytime. Alright, so based on all these sort of memories of the case, I'm feeling like Celeste is pretty suspicious because she's the one who instigated a lot of aspects of this case. Also, she somehow took a photo of the guy in the robot suit without him noticing, which I don't know how that would work. The only thing I don't know is how Hifumi would play along with this, unless, because Celeste had Hifumi as like a, you know, under her thumb basically. Maybe they were trying to plan a murder together and she ended up killing him. That's my current thought on the matter. It's a dolly. It doesn't have a handle. I saw this in the art room before. I guess it's used to move statues around. It's kind of awkward, but if you bend down, it's not too hard to use. But wait. Wasn't this in the equipment room when we found Taka's body? And look at the wheel. There's a blood stain on it. So there's blood on the wheel of the dolly that was moved from the equipment room to the repository. What's the explanation of that? Repository dolly has been added to the truth bullets section of your handbook. Okay, I think that's actually a pretty complete hypothesis right now. Because they definitely spent a lot of time trying to set up the fact that Hifumi is like under the thrall of Celeste. So it could be possible that against his better judgment, he tried to assist her in some kind of murderous plan. And then that would also explain why, to his dying breath, he, claimed that it was somebody else. He pinned the crime on somebody else. Byakuya, do you think the hero really did it? I don't see how anyone could think otherwise. When the attacks and murders and disappearances all happened, every one of us had an alibi. And the last thing Hifumi said when he died. Yeah, he said Hiro's name. Then there's no room to suspect anyone else. Okay, but if he did do it, why would he hide his identity with that weird costume? Maybe he thought that no matter what happened, he'd be safe as long as his face was covered. Because he's the fool of the century, you see. I mean, he is kind of dumb. But do you really think that's enough to explain it? I feel like there's a clue hiding in there somewhere. And is that it? That's all that bothers you about the case? Well, no, there are a few other things. Like, why did the killer try to hide the bodies? They probably figured that if we couldn't find the bodies, we couldn't complete our investigation. But if that's the case, we found the bodies pretty easily, didn't we? Again, it comes back to the fact that the culprit was a moron. Is that really all there is to it? The other thing that bothers me is, why'd they bother killing two people? What? Because the rule says if you can kill someone and get away with it, you graduate, right? So if you're the killer, your number one priority is not getting caught. Killing two people means more clues, more chances to get found out. Hold on, perhaps. I see, so that's what that means. Is everything okay? Don't talk to me as if we're friends. What's with the attitude? But you have my appreciation. Thanks to you, I might have some fun with this after all. His mysterious words hung in the air as he left the repository. He talked as if he'd figured something out. But if he did, would it have killed him to tell me what it was? Okay, I'm further forming this idea in my head, which is that Hifumi yelled while everyone was upstairs with Celeste, and he was down in the nurse's office. And maybe he was trying to do that as a diversion so that Celeste could hide the body. Although I don't know why. Maybe he was killed by someone besides Celeste. Or maybe he killed himself? I don't think he would go that far. Okay, it's not that great of a plan. It's not that great of an idea. Hifumi's big, cold body is laying on the floor. His really big body. I mean, how on earth was the killer able to move someone so big? From the nurse's office where he was discovered to here, the repository. All the way from the first floor to the third, and that without anyone noticing it. How the hell? It's no good, I just don't get it. I can think about it later. For now, I have to finish investigating Hifumi himself. If I remember correctly, Hifumi's fatal injury was also a blow to the head. Probably from Justice Hammer 3, which was laying on the floor next to the nurse's office. Huh? Wait. Something's off about his body. Why am I getting this feeling? Something's different. Different? What's different? Nothing I see. Something about Hifumi's body in the nurse's office versus his body right now. That's it, his glasses! When his body was in the nurse's office, his glasses were covered with blood. But now they're completely clean. Does that mean someone wiped his glasses off? But who would do that, and why? Hifumi's glasses has been added to the Truth Bullets section of your handbook. Is it possible he's faking his own death? Is it possible he's not really dead? How would he do that, though? Maybe they had some kind of drug in the nurse's office that could help him stop his heart rate or something? Because if he wiped off his glasses, he could have wiped off his own glasses to then walk upstairs after having pretended to be dead. And maybe the Monokuma announcement only goes off when somebody's heartbeat stops. So maybe he took one of those, like, you know, secret agent cyanide pills or something that you could then bite down on the antidote to wake back up. I'm not entirely sure how that would work. But that would explain how he would yell and then appear dead without Celeste being in the room. Very interesting. This would explain how they got Taka's body across, because they pulled him on a tarp. That's pretty useful. Taka, he'll never move again. According to the Monokuma file, Taka died from a blow to the head. We found Justice Hammer 4 near his body in the equipment room. Is that what we used to kill him? And there's a tarp laid out under his body. Did the killer use that to move Taka's body? That way, there wouldn't be any blood left behind when the body was moved. Blue tarp has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. But there was blood. Oh, you mean there wouldn't be a big blood trail. That's true. You know, the fact that Hifumi woke up also seems very, like, out there. And that would kind of cater to his character a little bit of, like, the reason... Like, he's got that kind of personality where he would try and do, like, a weird flourish like that. I like this idea. I don't know that it makes that much sense, but I like it. There's only one way in and out of this room, through the door that Hina said was locked before. There's definitely a lock on the door, but it can only be locked from inside the repository. I don't see any way to lock it from the art room. The door can only be locked from the inside, which makes me wonder. Hina and Sakura confirmed that the door was locked after we started looking for the missing bodies. And the door is designed so that it can only be locked from inside. In other words, when Hina checked it, someone had already gone in the repository and locked the door. When they were done, they unlocked it and left, which is why it's unlocked now. But Hina claims there's no way someone could have beaten them to the repository. So that certain someone... Repository door has been added to the Truth Bullet section of your handbook. There's got to be a clue around here somewhere. Maybe I should check somewhere else. There are some places I already know about. First, the nurse's office, where Hifumi was found, then the equipment room, where Taka was found. So, why would you have the equipment room be only lockable from the inside? If you want to prevent people from stealing the equipment, you would have a lock on the outside of the door. But I guess it's just for the purposes of making the case more mysterious. So you want to go to these 2 rooms. One of them was over here. I kind of like my theory that's coming together in my head here. Hopefully you guys don't mind my thinking out loud about potential case solutions. I actually think I said that I wouldn't do that on previous episodes, but that's part of the fun, right? It's trying to figure it out. Justice Hammer 4, the weapon that was used to kill Taka. The body was moved, but the murder weapon was just left here. There's some kind of tire mark going through the pool of blood in the middle of the room. That reminds me about the dolly in the repository. There was blood on its tire. Could that be the blood that came from here? Which could mean that Taka's body was moved from the equipment room to the repository using the dolly. Both rooms are on the 3rd floor, so that should definitely have been possible. Equipment room blood stain has been added to the truth blood section of your handbook. But even if the dolly was used to move Taka's body, what about Hifumi? Hifumi's body was in the nurse's office on the 1st floor. Even with a dolly, there's no way to get it up to the 3rd floor. That's still a total mystery. That would also contribute to our theory that Hifumi walked himself up to the 3rd floor. I was sleeping right when the killer carried the body away. I'm super pissed I missed such an ultimately rare event. Dang it, Genocide Jill. Okay, so now we have to go to the nurse's office. Yeah, we gotta go check the medicine cabinet in the nurse's office. That's my current, my theory right now. We're gonna have to check what kind of pill bottles they have. I think there was a cabinet in the nurse's office, or maybe in the rec room, where it said, like, no point checking this right now. So maybe we should do that. Let's see. Celeste. Would she really attack with this Justice Hammer? But what is this thing? It's a locker. It doesn't seem especially important right now, so I don't need to open it. Come on. Makoto. You need the detective spirit. Okay, we gotta go find the staircase for one thing. Good. Now, nurse's office, I believe, is on the 1st floor? I think it is. Is anybody on this floor? No. Okay, so let's go turn around. Yeah, this is the nurse's office. So ladies and gents, we're going to investigate the nurse's office. We'll see if our theory is correct on here, guys. Now, if you have not played Danganronpa before, make sure you post some theories in that chat. But of course, if you have played the game before, let's try and keep it a secret for anybody who doesn't know the events of the story. Guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Danganronpa. Make sure you keep your eye on the channel to see more of these. They come out every Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. And if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe so that you can see all the stuff that comes out on here. Guys, I will see you next time. Thank you for watching, and bye-bye.